All right, how is everybody doing? What's going on, guys? Josiah here. And, maybe you're not here yet. Maybe you're just joining me, whatever. I don't know. We're going to wait a little bit here to see if anybody else joins. I got my iPad here. Be fielding some questions. If you have any questions during this live edit, let me know. All right. And I'm just going to be walking through a engagement session with you guys. I shot this engagement session on, when was it? What's today? Thursday. Shot it 2 days ago on Tuesday. And I'll be going through. I've done all the culling already. And just be doing the edits in Lightroom. This was, I posted a few screenshots on my Instagram. And what's going on, Kayla? And posted a few shots on my Instagram. Just went through really quick and just selected a few to edit quickly to get to the client. But haven't really looked at these images other than in like my culling process. So these will be completely fresh, and you're gonna see kind of how I work through the edits and all that good stuff. So cool, glad some of you guys are in here. We got a few people, so I'm just gonna jump right in here. Kayla's here. If you're here as well, let me know. And I'd love to know also where you're watching from too. Where are you guys based? I like knowing who's watching, where they're watching from. It's the internet's an amazing thing, right? So all right, let's dive in. Let me find my Lightroom window, and we will get the ball rolling here. All right, and there's going to be a little bit of a lag just from live stream software. So if you ask a question, be patient as I get to you, and I promise I'll answer your question. But cool, Kayla's from Vancouver. Awesome, never been. Would love to go. I hear a lot of cool things about Vancouver. I don't know what those cool things are other than it's a beautiful city and all that. But Vernon's here from Cape Town, South Africa. Good Lord. That is awesome. That is awesome. Well, glad you guys are here. I'm going to be editing this session with my tried and true preset collection, all right? You can snag these presets at triedandtruepresets.com. And you can also do so by joining the membership at thephotoclub.io. But I'll be working through these presets here, and to be honest, I edit in a single style, right? Like normally my go-tos are Filmic Shadows, and Light and Airy Winter is one I've been using recently, which is a pretty new preset that I've tweaked based on the Light and Airy collection and the Filmic Shadows. Try and find a little bit of a middle ground there sometimes, but that's what I'll be editing with today. But to be honest, I would love to go and edit these in a completely different style, but based on what my clients normally expect from me, I'm going to be editing in my more traditional editing style. But you look how cool vintage looks, man. I would love to do this entire session in vintage. I think it looks really, really cool. So there's a lot of presets in here. I'm not going to go through all of that. There is another video on my channel somewhere of me walking through these presets, so you can check that out as well. But let's just start right off here with the Filmic Shadows, and I try and shoot as much as I can, right in camera. And this is Colin and Julia and their dog Sophie. Really, really cute dog. All right, we got someone in here from Poland. Goodness, you guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. It's 1 o'clock here. What time is it in South Africa and Poland? You guys are probably somewhat in the same time zone, right? I don't know where that lines up. I don't know. But like I said, I try and keep things as close to done in camera as possible. So there we go. That edit looks pretty good. I don't do a ton of tweaking. I'm not going to Photoshop out any of these people back here because it's just... Maybe I will. Maybe I will in the future. I'll come back to it. But that's just what it is. We're down in Philadelphia here shooting, and they knew there's going to be people everywhere. People all over the place. And you can see actually that I took both of these photos, and obviously this one here is better, so I'm actually going to go back to that second one. I'm actually going to get rid of it. We'll get rid of that photo. We got another person in here from we got Darius here from Poland as well. Man, 7 p.m. tonight. What camera and lens was this session shot? Good question. I shot this on the Sony a7 III on a 50mm from Sigma. It's the 50mm 1.4 art. And then I'm also using randomly a 14 to 24 millimeter, also from Sigma. I like Sigma lenses, man. They're nice lenses. What I didn't do was I didn't add. Where's my sharpening? Did that not make it in here? Yeah, the basic sharpening. This might be it here. That did not land in the right folder, so I'm gonna tweak that, make sure that's the right one. It is. Cool. Awesome. Let me just zoom in, make sure that that is doing what it wants to do. 10 a.m. in Vancouver, 7 p.m. in Poland, 7 p.m. in Poland. Cool. Well, I'm glad you guys are hanging out with me at 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. And if you're on the East Coast, it's 1 p.m. here. And super glad you guys are here. So I'm just going to do a quick tweak here with this sharpening. You guys want to know a little trick I learned the other day? Is if you're in your detail section here and you hold down Option or Alt and you hover over the mask, you can see what it is sharpening in the white edges here. So instead of sharpening your entire image, instead of sharpening all the noise and all that comes with your image, you can just sharpen the edges, and then you can tone this up or down as much as you want to. And that way you're only sharpening, you can see in the hair, only sharpening the edges of the image rather than all the noise and any grain that's in the image as well. So fun little trick. I'm just going to copy this again, and I'm going to go back and redo these images here, adding that sharpening to these images. Cool. Okay, now I can move on. Fun little trick I learned the other day. And dogs are always so fun to work with, but man, they are hard to get you to get them to look right into camera. So you got to do what you can, but this dog in particular, Sophie, was a little bit shy. Very, very cute, but a little bit shy, I think. And I think she was a little bit tired too, which was a good thing. I always recommend that you can tire your dog out before your session. That way they're not just a big ball of energy. That becomes difficult when they're running all over the place or pulling you, dragging you left and right. They're a little bit tired. Makes for a much easier session. Well, guys, any questions you have about anything, please feel free to ask in the comments. I'll be on until I'm pretty much done editing this session. And yeah, just hanging out. What are you guys working on? Are you guys shooting anything right now? Any recent shoots or any shoots coming up? Any weddings or engagements or portrait stuff? Anything like that happening? Well, that might be almost the same exact image. Yeah, I'm going to make one of these black and white. Go soft here. Yeah, which preset did you use? I'm using the Filmic Shadows preset right now. That's generally my go-to preset for the majority of my work. Even though I would love, like I said, I'd love to use Vintage 2 or Vintage on this shoot. Just wouldn't reflect the style of editing or photography that I normally deliver. And you can see all these people back here. I'm not gonna go ahead and get rid of all those people. That's just how it is. We'll try and crop them out in the frame here, which is why I'm shooting towards the building and not towards the end of the street, right? I use Lightroom CC because it's easy for me to just take a photo and yeah, Lightroom CC is great, especially, I mean, the fact that you can use it on your phone. I mean, I've done full sessions sometimes on my iPad on Lightroom CC because it is still such a powerful tool. When I'm on my computer, I definitely prefer Classic just because this is what I'm used to. This is kind of what I learned on, you know. And so I will normally stick with this if I'm on my computer. But yeah, Lightroom CC is an awesome tool. So can't go wrong with either one. I feel like I'm just more used to Lightroom Classic, so that's what I stick with. But yeah, hey, phone photography, don't knock it. I have the lucky enough to have the iPhone 12 Pro Max, the giant behemoth of a phone, and it's definitely big, takes up a lot of space in my pocket, but the camera on that sucker is awesome. So it is an awesome camera. The best camera you have is the one that's with you, right? So phone photography, it's the real deal. And it's funny, I did Julia and Colin were great. They were super easy to work with, this couple, and they honestly had their own, like, I didn't pose them all that much because they would just kind of do their own thing. You could tell they really liked each other because they were all over each other during the session, which was awesome, and made my job really easy because honestly they just kind of did things and they fit together perfectly, and they did their own thing, and it made for really easy portraits of them. And I'm gonna zoom in just a little bit, take a look at their face here. Let me just tone this down a bit. And my settings right now, for some reason my ISO is 1000. I think I fixed that in a minute here, and I'm just taking a look and seeing what this detail sharpening is doing. Yeah, there we go. Okay. iPhone XR, and I started with the iPhone 5C. Yeah, the iPhones have come a long way, and the cameras on those things now are incredible. I'm just thrilled with how technology is progressing and what cameras might be like on phones in the next 10 years. Who knows what we're gonna have, especially if you're using. I want to do a lot of video on my phone. That's the fun stuff too, for me. And the fact that I have complete control in some apps over shutter speed and ISO, like if you're using the Moment app or you're using Filmic Pro, those apps on the phones are just give you full control. I mean, I can set my focus, I can do all that stuff. I can change, heck, for video now you can change like your profile. If you want to shoot in a flat log profile or you want to shoot in a different profile, you can. It's really awesome. Dog was so cute. And there's actually, this is pretty much like a duplicate photo, so one of these I'm gonna make black and white. We're gonna really punch it up there. If you have any questions about any of my process here, let me know. More than happy to answer those questions. What I'm doing with this gradient filter here is just toning down the white dress so that we can bring our focus to the dog a little bit more, and then I'm going to do the same thing with the radial filter here, and it's inverted, or it's not inverted, I guess, so that it darkens everything outside of the mask, right? So if I turn this on and off, you can see it doesn't darken the face of the dog, it just darkens everything outside of the dog. So, and I just did that just because in black and white, the dog is dark on, a black background with some black pants and doesn't pop all that much. So we're just adding a little extra pop there. When do you send in the photos to the clients? Do some requests the photos considered? So I normally tell all my clients, hey, it's going to take 2 to 3 weeks for all of your photos to be done. 2 to 3 weeks is typically my turnaround. I try and deliver faster than that if I can. But I tell them 2 to 3 weeks. It's important to set the expectations for your client. That way they're never guessing, on how long it's going to take for the photos to be delivered. Setting those expectations, will eliminate any disappointment. There's nothing worse than waiting like week after week, wondering when the heck are my photos supposed to be here. And you just never know when they're going to show up. So I always tell them straight up 2 to 3 weeks. And that's normally when I deliver. I'll upload them to a gallery. But these guys will also see, probably by the end of the day today, they'll see a sneak preview of their engagement session. I'll probably select 50 or so images from their engagement session today, and I'll upload them to our blog and do a quick little write-up and send it off to them. So they're seeing pretty quickly these sneak peeks. I'm going to flag this red because I'm going to get rid of that girl in the background later. So yeah, we will send sneak peeks, and like I said, like I posted 5 photos on my Instagram the other day so that they could take a look and have an idea of what their photos look like. That way they're not wondering, you know, did they turn out like crap, or what do they look like? So we just give them some sneak peeks. We make the process fun, and no, normally they don't request for it to be sooner. Our turnaround time is still quick enough to where they don't need to request it to be sooner. Normally 2 to 3 weeks is a good turnaround. Yeah, see, I don't love this photo, but she's laughing, so I'm going to keep it. There we go. And this section of the day is really, it's really just me getting them warmed up, right? You got to warm people up for these sessions because they're not used to, you know, getting their photo taken. So we've warmed them up, and I'm actually going to get rid of this one. Teaching them my posing, all that good stuff. That way they can learn how I work. What up, Preston? How you doing, man? Preston's a local Philly guy here, where I guess he's somewhat in the area of Philly. You're like Lehigh, aren't you? Preston, do you ever make it down to Philly for any engagement sessions? How often do you come down this way? And guys, once I find the light, you can see I'm just copying and pasting, and the images are fine. Once I find the light and find my settings, I normally leave it. Normally leave my settings as is, and that's it. That way it makes editing go much quicker. Interested. It's a little punchy, but how you deal with clients who have come in and maybe had a bad day, or kids you just don't want to do it? Totally get that. One, I don't shoot kids all that much, mainly because I really don't enjoy shooting children. We'll shoot some kids of like past couples we've had, but we don't advertise family sessions all that much just because I really don't, at this point in my life, I don't love shooting kids. Maybe when I have kids that'll change, but yeah, but as far as like couples who come in, maybe they've had a bad day or a stressful situation when they've arrived at their engagement session, you know, our whole goal, we tell them like, hey, we just want to have fun with you guys. We want to just make this a good time. And normally we just try to get them laughing and smiling and having fun. And normally that distracts them enough from the stress or whatever was happening beforehand, and trying to get them to connect. I mean, we force them to pretty much be really handsy the entire session, to be all over each other. And these guys took it to the next level, which was awesome, because even after we were done shooting in a pose, they were still together. They were still like holding on to each other. Heck, I mean, I'll show you later. There's a photo I got of them just like leaning up against a hardware store window as I was taking a photo of like one of the streets, and I turned around. They were just hanging out, like cuddling into each other at a hardware store. Like, not a pretty background, not pretty light. They knew I wasn't shooting, and they were still all over each other. So it's moments like that where you know, things don't matter anymore, and they're just together. So I encourage you guys, if you are shooting engagement sessions, you're shooting weddings, you're shooting any type of session and people are stressed, get them out of their own heads. See if you can get them to have fun, get them to smile, get them to laugh, and that'll make all of that stress, all of that stuff go away. At least that's what I've found, what I've learned. Just zooming in, making sure it's sharp. There we go. Pretty good. All right. Yeah, 30 minutes north of Lehigh, as you know. I've been to Valley Forge. We'll be heading back down that way again in June. Dude, let me know when you're down. Let me know when you're in the Valley Forge area. Send me the date. Let's get together. With masks, of course. I'm still waiting to get vaccinated. Hopefully by then I'll have my shots. But yeah, dude, let me know when you're down in the area. Would love to get together. So that's cute. You can see here that they're actually a little bit out of focus, right? They're a little bit soft. I think the focus actually went to somebody's shoulder. Might have been her arm here. You can see that's actually pretty clear. So I'm actually just gonna make this a black and white photo. Tone it down a bit. Do you suggest buying or borrowing one's preset? If so, which film look would you suggest for an Asian skin to achieve light and airy plus dark and moody? You know, that's a good question. If you're talking about my presets, I mean, I would, yeah, hey, go ahead, buy my presets. I would love that, that's for sure. But as far as like which film look would you suggest for Asian skin tones, for light and airy or dark and moody, I mean, it's gonna depend, I guess, on your lighting. It's gonna depend on some different things, but I mean, in here, if you go to like my stylized, I mean, it just depends, because like you could do Adventure 2 as a little bit of dark and moody, but you could also do, it depends on the colors, you could do a little bit of charcoal. You could do some cinematic, like if I wanted like a really dark and moody, I could, heck, you could do some rust if you want. It just depends on how you get there. But let's say I did, Adventure 2. Dark and moody, bring down the exposure a little bit. Bring up maybe the highlights a little bit. Bring down the shadows a little bit. And this maybe not be the best example in this location, but yeah, I mean, Adventure is a little more adventurous. I don't shoot a lot of dark and moody stuff. I don't shoot in a lot of places that feel like dark and moody locations. Which is why you'll notice on here nothing says dark and moody. But as far as light and airy goes, I mean, if I reset this and I go back to, my film shadows, or even some of this can be a little bit light and airy. This one's probably a good one. Tone it down a little bit. It's really, the light and airy mood comes in when you're like pumping these shadows and these highlights up. I have a hard time actually editing light and airy photos, because I tend to like want more pop and contrast and color, and the light and airy vibe doesn't do it for me all that much. But yeah, I mean, it's really just playing around. My presets are really supposed to help you like find a look you want, get there a little bit, like 80%, 90%, and then you can tweak from there. The other thing you could do is, I have a whole nother section in my presets here that are like micro adjustments. So you can do basic adjustment, and then you can scroll through here. Maybe you want less pop, so you can do little pop. You can bring the shadows up by plus 75, blacks up by 75, highlights down by 75, bring the exposure down by 50. You can dehaze a little bit if you want to. You can boost some contrast if you want to, and you can build a complete look without ever actually clicking on any full presets. If you want to visualize what like a white balance change might look like, you can do that. So what would 6000 Kelvin look like here with a plus 5 magenta? You go there, then down to the HSL. So like this is kind of, you're making some micro adjustments, and you're able to build presets, or build a preset based on the micro adjustment. That way you're able to visualize the change before ever making that change. So you want to have some, greens and oranges in the highlights and the shadows. You can do that, and then some additional adjustments down here. Maybe you want to add some greens to the shadows. You can do that here. Add a lens correction. Maybe you want to add a little bit of grain. You can add some grain. There's a whole bunch of options, and then you can go over to the sliders here and do that as well. So presets, like I said, I mean, in other videos I talk about presets a bit, and I say like, they're not a fix to bad photography. They're only going to enhance good photography. And so if you've taken a bad photo, it's going to be flat out a bad photo. Look at this one here, actually. There's some light hitting his face. This is probably not the best place. So you can see here that I actually, in the next image, moved him forward. So I'm going to go through, delete that. Don't know how it even got culled, but Hope that makes sense a little bit. There's really no way to answer that because it's gonna depend. There's no one light and airy preset. There's no dark and moody preset that's gonna give you the exact look right out of the gate, unless you know, or unless you've made that preset based on how you shoot, right? So all my presets are really generally based on how I shoot. I have done some testing with these presets with other people and other people's photos, and they tend to work fairly well. These are still new presets, so they don't work 100% all the time, every time. You know, they work. They'll get you 80% of the way there, hopefully, and then you can make the tweaks based on how you shoot. I tend to shoot with a little bit of overexposure, and I know that's what works for me. Real smiles, real laughter, guys. Love this. Preston, I got your message. I'll respond to you when I'm off the live stream, but super stoked to hopefully get the chance to meet up. I think I may be free on that date too, so super stoked, man. Black and white, that guy. Love this. He just randomly picked her up and I was like, yo, we're just going for it. That's great. There's a bit of haze here, so we're gonna dehaze this sucker. If you didn't know, if you hover over one of these sliders and hit the up and down arrow keys, it'll change it in increments of 5s. All right. It's a little trick that I didn't know for a very long time, and once I discovered it, changed my life. Changed my life. I'll tell you guys, I tend to shoot at the same locations pretty frequently. Valley Forge Park in King of Prussia area, in the Philly area, is a favorite of mine. It's probably where the majority of my engagement sessions happen, and so when I actually end up going down into the city, I get really stressed out because, you know, you gotta find parking, and I don't shoot down here all the time, so it's constantly finding, you know, the right light. At least at Valley Forge or the places I normally shoot, I know where the light is good. I know where to put them. I know all of that stuff. I don't have to really think about where the light's going to be good. But when you're walking around the streets of Philly, you're avoiding cars, you're avoiding people, you're trying to figure out, you know, where to put them, and it's always comes down to finding, you know, the right light. And so I end up shooting with my couples backlit by the sun the majority of the time. The other thing though is finding inspiration in places. And so we were actually on our way to an alley which was all the way over on the right side. You can actually see these buildings over here. The alley's in between this building here with the brick and this building over here. And we were on our way there, and I saw this spot, and I was like, I want you to lead her down. I want the one-way sign. This is the way you're going. And it's just finding inspiration. I like the trees that are blooming here. I like the shutters. I like the contrast. His pants kind of match these shutters. So yeah, there's, you know, just find inspiration wherever you go. And I end up getting stuck in my own head a lot of the time when I am shooting in new places, because I'm just anxious about if I'm able to find the inspiration or not. And you just gotta get out of your own head. But the same goes for if you're shooting in the same place over and over again, you end up getting stuck doing the same thing every time. So shooting in new places is a really good way to boost your creativity. Stormtrooper helmet greater than mask? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. If it was socially acceptable for me to wear a Stormtrooper helmet out everywhere I went, I would definitely be doing that. Preston, have you walked around in full Stormtrooper getup during the pandemic to go grocery shopping or something? That would be good. You'd probably make a lot of people really happy. Obviously, you might have to wear a mask underneath your helmet unless you have some kind of filter built into your helmet, but that would be cool. Have you ever shown up? You should show up to a session one time, Preston, wearing your Stormtrooper gear. gonna reset. I don't like how these are turning out. What's going on? Yeah, they turned out nice. You see there's like purple in his shirt though. I don't know where the purple's coming from. Might be bouncing off the brick or something. Anyway. Yeah, that would do it. Do it when you come to Valley Forge. That would be good. How quickly can you change out of that outfit? How long does it take to put on? How long does it take to take off? See, I hate that I can see this lock right here. Gone. Magic. One click and done. Steph, I was just telling them that I didn't have to pose them like at all.
You mentioned that last night.
They were just kind of doing their own thing.
Which makes your life just
It seriously made my life so much easier. 30 minutes to get on with help, 10 minutes off. Okay, so you could totally show up already dressed, and then it would take you just 10 minutes to get everything off. That's not too bad. Or you could shoot the entire session in your Stormtrooper gear without the helmet, maybe. No idea who this guy was. He just photobombed.
He's not socially distant.
Nope. And at least he's wearing a mask though, so yeah. At least he's in a mask. Nope. What'd you say? Yeah, just a random side street in Rittenhouse. It's not even like the fancy part of Rittenhouse either. The other houses we walk by later are like, they're very cute. Yeah. Well, like you have houses up here, but then you have flats down here too. So like these are apartments behind them. I don't know how big they were, but they probably stretched the full back of the space, but Preston says hello.
Hi.
Another one here from South Africa. Awesome. Yeah, we got Poland, we got South Africa,
Wow.
there was Vancouver. Yeah, people all over.
So many time zones.
I know, that's what I was wondering what time it was everywhere. I got 7 p.m.s, I got 10 a.m.s, yeah. So pretty cool. I might black and white one of these too. All right. Thanks for joining. Catch you later. So I'm shooting now on the 14 to 24 millimeter 2.8. I'm kind of dual wielding these cameras during this session because it's Philly's kind of a weird space. I don't shoot there all the time, and so I wanted to have some options between a really wide, in case we were stuck in a tight spot. These driveways or streets or alleyways are not very big. Plus, I knew they liked the architecture, so I wanted to make sure I got some of the architecture in there. So Now I'm back to the 50. Back to your point on feeling stuck and same poses. Where do you get inspiration, or how do you check yourself not doing the same poses or cues? Yeah. Sometimes I just fall into doing the same thing over and over. And I honestly, to be honest, I think that's totally okay, as long as you're changing up some of the composition. Like I have them walk multiple times throughout this session, like actually pretty frequently. We walk, hold hands, and I think that's totally fine. It's just we're doing it in a new place, in a new way. Maybe I'm changing up the composition, maybe I'm changing my lens choice, but I knew that these guys too would end up doing their own thing. And so really most of my photography is less about putting them a pose and trying to make them do something, and more about trying to elicit a response or reaction from them. And you'll see that here in a second, because I just had them walk, look at each other, stretch out, stretch back in, stretch the arms out, come back together. And my next photo coming up will actually be what they naturally did. Actually, it's not the next photo. Oops, I keep hitting the wrong button here. Plus and minus keys too, guys, will change your exposure or whatever you click on. All you got to do is click on, if I click on the word highlights, I can modify the highlights with my plus and minus key. I normally just leave it on exposure. Anyway, you can see here this shot, right? Man, I keep doing that. He like spun her in towards him, and I didn't tell them to do that. All I did was give them like the pose, the thing to do, and they naturally went and did their own thing. So all I want to do is just kind of make a space that's comfortable enough for them to feel like they can just be themselves and have fun. And all I'm doing is putting them in a pose and getting their minds off the camera. And I could do this with chest to chest 100 times if all I did was like a chest to chest or a belly buttons together pose, or noses together, face each other sort of pose. And I can interact with them and respond with them or ask them questions. The pose may be the same, but I might get 20 different emotions or reactions or different types of laughter or different types of things, different types of photos, depending on the composition, depending on location, depending on light, depending on how they react to each other. So I think it's totally okay if you did the same pose over and over again, but I'm looking for moments like this where you have real laughter. And even though Colin may have no idea what is happening right now, I love this photo because this might actually represent their relationship to a T. I actually love the black and white vibe here. So I'm going to leave it on black and white. There we go. Yeah, and Preston, based on like the work I've seen from you, yeah, I can definitely feel that vibe when you shoot. Like you're very much about like just putting them in a situation or a pose and like letting it play out and seeing what comes from it. You can definitely feel the joy when I look at your photos. That's for sure. Awesome. Congrats on your wife joining you, bro. That's super, super awesome. That's a big step. Always a big fan of shooting through things. That's not the best photo, so I will likely remove from Lightroom. Nice. Studio space, that's what's up. Oh, that does not work right there. What are you guys hoping to do in that studio space? What's the plan? What's the goal? I think I saw that your wife's now offering boudoir shoots. Is that what the hope is for that space? You can can see there's this red cast on his shirt and on their skin. I think there's some light bouncing off of some brick somewhere or something. So I'm just gonna tone that red down a bit. Not too far to where it's getting rid of like lip color or anything, but maybe it's a little magenta too. There we go. Boudoir's the hope, exactly, my friend. Awesome, man, dude. That's sweet. That's sweet. Have you guys found a place? I'm assuming you found a place. I can imagine how exciting that is. I really can. Having like your own space that's not in your house, to be able to do some work, man. That's sick. Oh, I'm stoked for you, man. That's awesome. See, I don't know what it is in this space right here, but I just love black and white look. Oh no, who's calling me? There we go. Turn that off. With a local hair and makeup studio. Oh, dude, you hit the jackpot. That's going to be a huge help with the boudoir stuff. That is awesome. What do you guys think? Do you like black and white or color better for these images? I really like the black and white. Dude, yeah, that is so perfect. Interested to see how that goes for you. You'll have to let me know. I think you guys hit the jackpot. That's awesome. Oh, Anthony, dude, thanks for making my day, man. That's sick. Like I've said this before, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So take your time, build your business right. Do what you need to do. Have the wife join you, have your partner join you when it's time. And just make sure you love what you do and that you're doing it to your fullest to serve your clients and make it about them. It's a fun job. It's a stressful job. And just keep working at it every day. And sometimes you're going to feel like, dude, this completely sucks. Why am I doing this? But it ebbs and flows. It comes and goes. And pretty much determine your why. Why are you doing what you're doing? That's something that we did years ago. And it's something that, honestly, we have to keep figuring out for ourselves again and again. Like, is our why the same? Are we still doing this because of this reason? Or has our why shifted? But ultimately, it comes down to we love what we do. It's a very rewarding job. So, dude, glad you're here. Glad you're here. Glad my content has been helpful. And new videos, man, releasing every week. Sometimes they suck, to be quite honest. I don't care about the numbers all that much, but sometimes the videos don't do too well. Sometimes they suck. Sometimes I don't put, as much work into them as I should. But I want to make sure I'm giving you guys content. I'm very much a done is better than perfect type of person. So if I don't want to spend too much of my energy trying to get one video out when I know I could get some basic info out to you guys, some good info out to you guys every week. And the video might be a little bit, not the best video I can make, but I want to make sure I'm still giving you guys content every single week. So a lot of good stuff coming. And I'm covering things, hopefully, you can see in this channel, hopefully, things that other wedding photographers aren't talking about. My video coming out later this month is like something you should absolutely always keep in your trunk of your car as a wedding photographer. And nobody's talking about stuff you should leave in your trunk. It's stupid. It's nobody is searching for that. But I'm sharing tips that I've found have been very helpful for us over the years. So, but I do thank everybody here because if you're subscribed, you've helped me get to over 10,000, which is a huge goal. So I appreciate all of you. You guys are awesome, especially those of you too who have helped support me on in my membership and are part of the membership and want to continue education with me here on Patreon. So, sorry to fanboy here. No, you're good, man. No, you're good. All good. I'm having some trouble here with skin tones today. There's a lot of red coming into their skin tones, bouncing off of the building behind me. So a lot of these images here are going to probably end up being in black and white in this setting. Or maybe I can... see, here's what the vintage looks like. I don't like the vintage in this spot. That looks alright, though. It looks okay. We'll come back and tone down the red again a bit. Oh, there we go. Josiah Lifer. Dude, I'm a Preston fan too, so I'm with you, bro. Your work has, I've seen your work grow over the last year, dude. I'm super proud of you, man. All right, so these guys were really awesome too. I loved this session. Was so fun. Like I said before, I get stressed when I go down into the city, guys. I get anxious when I'm shooting in a new place. I have these expectations that I'm like, this is gonna suck, or like I'm gonna have a really hard time with posing or finding the right light or the right location. And then I get there and everything's always fine. And this couple made it extra easy on me because, one, they were really just good at being in front of camera. But two, we also went out for drinks. Like in the middle, they wanted to stop at this bar. We got some drinks, and I had it old-fashioned with them, and it was a good time. And afterwards, both Colin and I here had to get our drink down pretty quick to move on to the next place. So we were both a little bit buzzed, and honestly, the whiskey brought out some of the creativity. And that brings up a question that we've gotten sometimes: is it okay to have a drink with your couple, whether it's on the wedding day or at the engagement session? And we're all for, like, we are like friends first, photographers second. That's what we want to be. And it's part of building the bond with them. Like, they were like, you guys, they asked me, do you want a drink? And I was like, yeah, I'll have a drink with you. That's totally cool. We will not, though, at a wedding, go up to the bar and order a drink. The only way we will ever have a drink at the wedding is if our couple asks us first, and if we didn't sign any waiver at the venue. Sometimes the venue requires you to sign a waiver saying you're not going to drink, and if you do, then you could be kicked out of the venue. Just depends on the venue's policy, but if the couple asks us to have a drink with them, we'll do it. So it's all about building relationship and becoming friends with our clients. And I knew, having a drink with these guys, one, they're awesome. I'd love to have a drink with them. Two, you guys asked, and yeah, I'm not gonna say no. That's awesome. So this was a bar that they frequented when they were dating, and they want to take some photos here. And I'm taking these photos on the this is on the 50mm at f2, 1/500 shutter, and ISO 400. And I just love the way this turned out. My couples from yesterday gave me a beer at their wedding venue. Best job. Yo, it's awesome when you get couples who are like, yo, have a drink with us, party with us, let's hang out. Like those, that's awesome. Love when that happens. And afterwards, after I had like the drink with them, I was like, man, I feel like I should bring like shots with me to engagement sessions. One, just to like lighten the mood, and two, put everybody a little bit in a more relaxed mindset. But probably won't do that, but you totally could. If that's part of your branding, you totally could. But yeah, I love the way these photos turned out. And like I said, I'm shooting something that I don't normally shoot. I don't normally shoot at cafes or bars, and so having a fresh location, a new location I've never shot at, forcing me to do something completely different than I'm used to, has definitely helped push some creativity. So if you're ever stuck, limit yourself, shoot in a new place maybe, and look for new and interesting angles, interesting perspectives. Been bringing chocolate to engagement sessions lately. Yo, that is a good idea. Couples respond pretty well to the chocolate. And when do you give it to them? I'd love to know. When do you give them the chocolate? Is it at the start of the session, middle of the session, end of the session? When does that chocolate come out? Steph and I for a while brought like freshly baked cupcakes to engagement sessions before we realized that that was a lot of work. And by we realized it was a lot of work, it was a lot of work for Steph because I don't bake. And you can see, guys, I found the right preset, the right light, the right settings for this edit, and now I'm just copying and pasting and adjusting exposure up and down. And because we're still somewhat in similar light, new location, similar light, still copying and pasting the same preset. What kind of chocolate do you bring, Preston? Are you bringing like Hershey bars? Like, or are you bringing like Russell Stover's like heart chocolates? Right in the beginning. Yes, ask their favorite candy. Oh, that's the way to do it, man. That's the way to do it. And then it's personalized, right? Like they have this personal. You've played to their personality, to who they are as people. It's not just this standard thing that you do for every single couple. That's awesome. I'm gonna see if I can get rid of this here. Yeah, great idea, man. Great idea. You can see the perspective is off. I'm gonna leave it on. All right, not a big deal. Yesterday was a health bar and Hershey Kisses. That's awesome. Do you just go out on your way to the engagement session and pick it up, or are you kind of stockpiling before the session? I mean, there's no right or wrong way to do it, I guess. Are these the same photo? Yeah, they're the same photo. How much do I overexpose in camera? Well, it depends. Definitely right now, these photos here, this is raw, straight out of camera. I am definitely underexposed for this one. But, you know, if I jump over to these shots here, you can actually see there's some bounce light that's hitting him. And so he's actually probably properly exposed and she's underexposed. If I went down a little bit further to here, I'm still probably properly exposed there. And then down a little further, I'm still actually probably properly exposed there as well. So sometimes I overexpose, I guess, but I used to do that more frequently. But if I am overexposing, it's only by like a third or 2/3 of a stop, hopefully. But, you know, yeah, if you're overexposing by you know, just a little bit, there's still data there. There's still all that data, so don't stress too much if you're overexposing or even if you're underexposing. The reason I underexposed in this section was because you can see if I overexpose, let's just reset this real quick. Or if I properly expose for their skin tones, which would have been probably somewhere in here, it's a whole stop and a third more. So I underexposed their skin by a stop and a third, and a stop and 1/3. Yeah, you can see that the sky is completely blown out, and that data probably would have been gone if I hadn't underexposed. And so we could still have that data in the sky, and now I'm getting a little bit of blue, and I'm still able to boost the shadows and bring back some of that detail in the sky and expose for their skin. And I'm gonna get rid of this one-way sign here the healing brush, see what that does. There we go. Cool. Just depends on the situation, really, Anthony. Sometimes, you know, I'll realize I've overexposed them a little bit, but because I'm in the same lighting situation, I don't go about changing my settings because I know that it's going to make things harder for me later. I'll have to do essentially 2 different edits, right, to try and match, you know, the shot after I've changed my settings, right? So once I've started shooting and I know it's going to be fine, even if I'm a little overexposed or underexposed, I just leave my settings the way they are. That way, editing goes by quicker and I can just fix everything once instead of having to fix the first set of images and then have to match the second set of images in that same location with the new settings to the first set. It's a little hard to explain without, you know, showing you, but I hope all that makes sense. Yeah, it depends on light, depends on all that stuff. Exactly. So normally I'll definitely double check or change my settings once I move to a new location. But I mean, normally the preset that I throw down, like this preset doesn't work, right? What I've been using doesn't work right here because I've reset my settings. I've reset my white balance in this new space. So now I'm going to go back to my normal preset. Why didn't that not apply? Let's try that again. Filmic shadows, turn that on, and then I'll adjust, bring down the exposure a bit, bring down my highlights, and there we go. I love that. I gotta go in and sharpen again here. Tone that down just a bit. Bring that down. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Copy paste. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not a perfectionist when it comes to editing. If I don't think there's anything I mean, I can't get rid of all these cars back there. As much as I would like those cars not to be there, it's part of the day. It's like we're in Philly. Like, of course, there's going to be a Subaru driving past you. It's just how it's going to be. You know, I could get rid of this grate here, but again, it's just how it's going to be. If I can, I will crop it out. And you can see I need to actually add a little bit of dehaze. And like things like this, you have these people in the background. Yeah, I definitely don't want them there. This is more distracting to me than anything else, is when there's people lingering. When there's people lingering, I would definitely want to get rid of them if I can. And Anthony, the live will be, you can definitely replay this live. It'll be live on my channel for however long. I'm not taking it down anytime soon, or probably at all. It'll just stay up. So yeah, feel free to rewatch if you need to, and I encourage that. Go for it. Increase some of these shadows. There we go. Just trying to find the right crop here. these ladies in the back. At least they look like ladies. I don't know if they're actually ladies. There we go. It's fine. Alright. And I'll just crop them out in this photo here. Man, yeah, well, congrats. One on the way. I imagine it's definitely difficult, you know, growing your photography business, shooting weddings or shooting sessions, trying to learn while also juggling family and kids and all of that stuff. Totally can imagine how difficult that is. 100%. Tagging this because I'm, again, people in the background, that's more distracting to me than this speed limit sign, you know? So I'll come back to this image. Homemade maple syrup. Goodness. Anthony, where are you from? Vermont? Canada? Sorry if you told me already and I forget, but homemade maple syrup, that sounds amazing. Let me reset that. You see the bounce light. There was a window that was reflecting the sun, and it was shooting right back at them, and it is really, really strong now. So I'm gonna duplicate and make one in black and white as well. There we go. And actually, it looks like my body is actually causing part of a shadow on hers. Not something I caught while I was shooting there. So just be careful of shadows. But it's not going to be enough to ruin the photo or to force me to get rid of it. Just going to leave it. You see now the skin tones are a little purple in this shot, so we're just going to warm everything up a little bit. By a little bit, I mean by a lot. We'll pump in some greens. Ottawa, Canada. Nice. I've only ever been to Toronto in Canada, and that was a couple years ago, but I loved it. I loved Toronto. I would love to go back to Canada. My wife, Steph, was in Quebec, I believe, or Montreal. Maybe she went to both a couple years ago as well, and she loved it. And then my parents also did the same thing, and they loved it. So, Canada, you guys are awesome. Believe me, there was a few times in the last couple of years where I was like, I'm ready to move to Canada. Once again, increasing my white balance just to get rid of some of that cold pinkish skin tones. I'll send you a bottle. Bro, I would love a bottle of your maple syrup. Shoot me a DM and we can chat. This photo was taken very much after that drink we had, and you can, I don't normally get this close, but I was like, man, I'm just gonna go in real close. And I actually love the way these photos turned out. I'll have to make it up to Ottawa once us Americans are allowed back into Canada. I don't know when that's gonna be, but if I'm in the area, I'll let you know. Definitely miss traveling, that's for sure. I don't like that one. We're gonna get rid of that one. You can see again they're a little soft. The focus actually went to her hand, to her ring here. Not sure why that was the case, but I'm going to probably make this black and white as well. Black and white, you can get away with some of that softness a little bit better than in color. Same street, you can see I moved them out of, that bounce light isn't hitting them as hard in this photo here just because the sun has moved. So you can see I actually underexposed them again. They're definitely underexposed, so I'm increasing the shadows and decreasing some of these highlights. I'm gonna bring down some of the white balance here too. Yeah, man, I'd love to meet. I love meeting people from YouTube in person here. It's I've had the chance to do that a few times, and it's always very, very cool. Very, very cool to meet people who I'm like, you guys are watching my content. It's so crazy. Guys, I'm just a regular dude, man. I'm just a regular guy who shoots photos and does what he loves for a living, and being able to make videos and help other people with their business, I love that. So would love to meet up. Hopefully at some point, I'd love to do some kind of meetup here in the Philly area, and if I'm traveling and all that stuff, I'd love to do meetups in other areas. I live in like this pipe dream mentality all the time of things that I would love to do, and it's actually just making them happen. I just have to do it. Just have to do it. I'm going to get rid of, I'm not going to get rid of that guy in the background, but we are just going to desaturate him a little bit. Don't even know if this is going to work, but we're going to give it a shot. Yeah, it didn't really work. Let me see if I can get it to blend more orange. I actually don't really know how to use this tool, so whatever. Definitely less distracting than it was, that's for sure. We'll leave it like that. I keep hitting that sound button. Sorry, y'all. And this time I'll just crop him straight out. I essentially told him to attack her with kisses on that cheek as many times as she could. We've got an acre property just outside the city. Yes, dude. Yeah, dude, I will take you up on all of that. If I ever make it up to Ottawa, 100%, I will let you know. I'll try some of your maple syrup. We can hang out. We can shoot a little bit. I'm all for it, man. It'd be so fun. So I've switched here. You can see from, if you can tell, I've switched to a new lens. So this one's on the 50. Someone else is calling me. Guys, I can't tell you how many phone calls I get in a day from random numbers that I just completely ignore. Anyway, I'm on the 50 here. On this next image, I am now on the 14 to 24, all the way at 18 millimeters, which definitely distorts a little bit, but I wanted to get in really, really close. It actually focused on his hair instead of their eyes, but not a huge deal. There we go. Now that they looked up, that's better. And again, this isn't the best photo of him. She's laughing. This may, again, just mean something to them. So, what's up, Jennifer? How you doing? Glad you're here, too. But yes, like I said, I'll just leave this. This may represent their relationship in a way I don't even understand. So I just leave it in there. It's a fun photo of her, and they may laugh at it later on. So if there's a funny photo, I may leave it in. But I'm really liking, wide angles more and more recently. These are some of the images of the cover photo of this session, of this YouTube video. This is the one I think I used. Actually, are all the photos selected? I think they are. Yeah, okay, cool. This may have been the photo that is the cover of this YouTube video. And I love this. We were waiting for a little bit to try and get them into the street without any cars coming. Anthony, I definitely bring the family. Steph and I travel together as a pair most of the time, so I'll definitely meet up if we're ever in Ottawa. So while I was taking this picture, guys, they were doing this by the hardware store around the corner. They were just snuggling. He was holding the purse, and you can see they're drastically underexposed. So I am boosting the heck out of my exposure here because I was still set for the other location. So I'll noise reduce a bit, but they were just like this while I was turned around, which was really, really cool. Loved it. And I'm not going to turn it black and white or anything. I think I'll just leave it in color. When you deliver the images, do you format to a certain size? And all good that you're late. No worries. No worries. You can always rewatch this too, Jennifer. This will just remain online. Do I format to a certain size? No, I normally just leave it the same. I think I just leave it the same size. Actually, let me go and I can see if I were to export this photo. I can show you kind of what my settings are here. Yeah, resize to fit. I don't click any of that. I just keep the image sizing the same, but I do keep my resolution to 300 pixels per inch. And then my quality is set to 84 just for file size. And then output sharpening for screen, amount standard. This will change if I'm going to an album or something like that too. But other than that, no, I don't resize to a certain size. So like whatever the size this image is going to be, which is 5471 by 3647, that's what they'll get as far as dimensions go. And you can see I've cropped it a little bit. I think my normal dimensions are like 6,000 by something. Yeah, 6,000 by 4,000. Yeah, so I don't change it all that much. If you guys are like delivering to publications or anything like that, or trying to submit your work, they may ask for your photos to be a certain length, on like the long edge to be a certain length, and that's where you can go in, select your photos in Lightroom, and export with the resize to fit setting checked, and then select 2048 pixels on the long side or whatever it is that they're recommending. I'm just gonna warm this image up a bit. But no, I don't normally resize my images or anything like that. It's just whatever the crop's gonna be is what they're gonna get. Make sure that this is sharp. It is. Cool. Okay. All right. Copy, paste. Oh yeah. You see there's some dog hair on his leg here from Sophie. So we'll just get rid of some of this dog hair real quick. From the Philippines, Brian. All right. Just recently discovered your channel. I have loved your wedding crash course. 2 a.m. Whoa. I can't tell you the last time I was up till 2 a.m. Glad you're here, Brian. Thanks for joining. There's some dog hair on his legs. I'm just getting rid of it. Because it was really distracting. Yeah. It's not like a big deal photo or anything, but I would probably, if I got this photo back, probably say, why couldn't he have gotten rid of the dog hair on my pants? So I'm not going to get rid of all of it, but yeah. Really, it's just it was this one too, I think, right? Yeah. Maybe I'll do this. Whoa. And if you ever run into that issue where you're trying to get rid of another piece here and you're healing brush tool or clone stamp tool doesn't let you select it. If you go down to tool overlay in the bottom left, you can get rid of never, or you can change auto to never, and now you can hover wherever you want. It's just you don't see anything come up. So you can always go back and turn auto back on, or you can use the other one. Visualize spots too is kind of a weird thing, but selected, you could do selected, or you could do always. So I normally keep it on auto until I need to change it. I mean, that's way better than it was. So this was with it off. So, I mean, that only took me 2 minutes to do. So normally when I'm delivering in black and white, I am duplicating the image, unless I know that the image is like just complete trash when it's in color. See, I don't like this one. I'm gonna get rid of that one. If it's complete trash in color, then I'll just deliver it in black and white. There's no point in giving them a color image if it's gonna be better in black and white, but sometimes, you know, I just can't decide if it's better in black and white or not, and so I'll just keep and deliver both. I think I found this garage or something when I was looking at some places on Google Maps trying to find the locations they wanted to shoot. They sent me like this map with a bunch of pins, and on Google Maps this whole place, I think it was this door, had like flowers and it's like almost like a floral arch set up above it. It was really, really cool looking. Unfortunately, it wasn't still up when we went there, but you can see if these trees were in bloom how cool this would be. And they really wanted to shoot. The Rittenhouse Square area in Philly has a lot of cool doors, farm doors, barn doors. They're just garages essentially that, I mean, it's a really rich area down in Rittenhouse in Philadelphia, and it's a cool place to shoot. There's a lot of really cool doors down there, but they wanted some photos in front of those doors, and so we kind of explored a little bit. They made a little map of where to shoot. Back over to the 14. At 14 millimeter, 2.8, just to get the whole building. You can see another door over here. It's the kind of doors I'm talking about. And again, I'm going to do this gradient filter here. Don't want to desaturate it all that much. I'm just going to kind of relight essentially. Relighting the image. That's what I'm doing. Just want to make them pop a little bit more using the gradient and the radius or radial filter. Radial filter? Yeah. That's what it's called. There we go. Once again, I'm going to use that same exact technique. we go. Cool. Actually, that is coming on a little bit strong here. Whoops. There we go. That's better. Cool. I'm now using the Light and Airy Winter preset. It's something to keep in mind, and I try to do this as best I can when I'm shooting dresses, and I didn't do it very well on my next couple images, but you can see I've left it so you can still see some of her legs. That way I'm not like cropping her up here, which that gives a very different type of feel to this image, to the dress. You still want to see the full dress. So because it was shorter, I made sure to cut her off after the dress, which I didn't do so well here. This would have been a better image if you could see some of her legs, just to get an idea of what the full dress looks like. Just something to keep in mind, something I try and do, but definitely messed up in this case, just because I'm trying to get their moment, the real laughter they're sharing. And if I could, I would have moved that white van behind them. But if you're ever going to focus on something, it's better to focus on the moment and the emotion rather than focusing on the composition. Composition should definitely come second to the moment and the emotion. If you can do both at the same time, perfect, but make sure you're capturing that moment first, I think. And this street was just beautiful. Look at these trees here. I cut off his foot accidentally. So this was on the 24 millimeter, and this was on the 50. So you can see the compression difference. You can see how it changes the image. I don't love that one, but we'll leave it. We'll leave it in there. What's up, Jose? How are you? Yeah, I mean, I think the simpler the better. I like to go as much as I can for, more of a natural feel. Too much saturation can definitely hurt your image. And so honestly, most of the time I end up finding myself dialing down the saturation. And, we honestly, in real life, don't see colors that saturated. Everything feels very natural. You can definitely tell when somebody's dialed up the saturation too high. So yeah, I would say and subtlety too. If you're gonna boost your saturation, don't overdo it. Just do it a little bit, and it will actually go a long way. Make this one black and white. Definitely warm it up. Awesome. Thanks, bro. Thanks for following too. Yeah, keep it simple. That's definitely, I mean, honestly, that should be a motto for photography just in general. Keep it simple, have fun, and, you know, I really just learned a lot of just how to edit and all that by watching other people edit, doing exactly what you're doing, and honestly, by dissecting the edits. I mean, see if you can, I mean, if you don't have my presets, all good, but you can also see how I try and copy some of my my edits, see if you can match the levels of shadows and the skin tones and all of those things. And honestly, do you guys think it would be helpful if at the in the description of some of these videos and in some editing videos, if I provided a few raw photos for you guys to edit, just so you can practice editing using my images? I mean, just to show you that my images are no different from yours. I mean, I get a lot of questions on like, hey, what were your settings, all that stuff, which is all good. But when it comes down to it, photography is the same on every single camera. It doesn't matter if you're using Canon, Sony, Nikon, whatever you're using. We're all using the same settings, all using the same kind of gear. Photography comes down to more of the light, the location you put them in, the colors, and less about settings, although obviously that does play a big part of it. But it's how you set those settings in all those different scenarios that are, honestly, the light's going to make or break regardless of the settings. Like this image doesn't matter if I shot it at 2.8 or if I shot it at f8. I'm so close to the background of this door that it doesn't matter. And heck, at 14 millimeters, there is no depth of field when they're this far away. Everything's in focus. But yeah, these guys rocked it. These guys crushed it. And I specifically put them in front of this green door because one, I like the color, like the way the pink dress complements the blue in his shirt and complements, honestly, the green in the door. Goodness gracious, people are calling me all day. Now this, though, favorite shot, I think, from the entire session. I moved them away from the door, started shooting through these trees, and tried to frame them within the lines of the trees. This is one of the images I posted on Instagram the other day. I just love the way these images turned out. So always look for new compositions, leading lines, all that stuff. New ways to frame your couple. There you go. We got one more. Bam. There we go. Done. We did it. Session edited. Now I just got to go back and find the images where I need to get rid of some people. There we go. And there's only a few. There's only 3. Only 3. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. Let's see if I can open up Photoshop. My Photoshop's been acting up on me recently. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We'll see if it cooperates today. Slowly but surely, here we go. I am definitely not a Photoshop whiz. Not that good at Photoshop. The only reason I ever take anything into Photoshop is to try and get rid of something in the background when the healing brush or the clone tool in Lightroom doesn't cut it. Got me spending money in 10 minutes. Jose, you're awesome. Photoshop. It's so slow. It's so slow.
What are you gonna do to stop sign?
Nope, stop sign I'm okay with. Yeah, I'm trying to get rid of.
Looks like they're taking a selfie.
Yeah, she does look like she's taking a selfie. That, or she looks like she's putting on makeup, or like looking in a mirror, putting on. I'm not really sure what she's doing, but
She's not part of the photo.
she's definitely like the stop sign doesn't distract me as much as her for some reason. Oh goodness, I'm just trying to zoom in. It is a very pretty dress. Somebody asked if they were getting married, or if they had just been married, or if they were engaged. Because the dress you could pass as a,
Could pass as
I
like
could totally pass as a wedding dress, especially during COVID. Oh, Photoshop. I'm still here, guys. My computer has not glitched out. Well, my computer's glitched out, but really it's just Photoshop.
She does look barefoot.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. She could have gone barefoot.
Streets of Philly.
Yeah, streets of Philly probably wouldn't be too good. Jen says hi.
Hello.
Oh my goodness, what is going on? See, this is the problem with Photoshop for me. Is this constantly does this. Just doing simple tasks in Photoshop for some reason takes forever. All right. I don't know why. I don't know why that's the case, but all right, I'm using the clone stamp tool. Like goodness gracious, what is going on? We're gonna try and get rid of her. Like I said, I am not a Photoshop whiz here. The other thing I'll do sometimes, if I really like a picture, I'll send it to retouchup.com and spend like $10, and they'll get rid of all the stuff I need them to get rid of. Which honestly might end up being the case here, because there's just so many textures and different light patterns, and
She with that part of the street.
yeah, there's just, I have a hard time being able to take from the sidewalk here, from this section. I am not good at it. Definitely not my strong suit. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to send this one to retouch up. That's what's happening. I'm not going to do this because I'm just going to make it look even worse. All right, let's go back to Lightroom because I actually feel pretty confident. Oh, actually, you know what I could do? Let me send both of these images at the same time to Photoshop. And I can actually make a plate because she's in two different sections. So while that loads, what questions do you guys have? Once I'm done these, use the lasso tool and then fill and then content aware. I always forget about content aware fill. Lasso tool. Okay, Jen, let's see if you're right here. Let's see if this works. Lasso tool. I don't know how precise I need to be, but okay, lasso tool. Then fill content aware. Okay. I always forget about content aware. I grew up learning Photoshop, learning Photoshop in high school, and I don't think content aware fill was a thing at that point. Yeah, that's pretty good. That gets me like, that's
Like she's
pretty.
not even
That's
there.
pretty good. Okay. See, I'm afraid to zoom in because of. I guess the pinch and drag doesn't work well, but. Okay, that's pretty good.
That's impressive. Look, you learned something new.
Yeah, I always forget about content aware
You
fill.
remembered something.
No, it's great. Thank you, Jen. Oops, I'm on the wrong layer. Let's do this here. We're just gonna fill that in. I feel like that's now less noticeable, so that's cool. Look at that. Zoom on out. Yeah, no one's gonna notice that. No one's gonna
No.
notice that. Thank you. Thank you. Way to go, Jen. You saved my butt. Let's do it again. Clean up with the Band-Aid. You are welcome. Jen, do you do a lot of Photoshop? I try my best to never take anything into Photoshop just because it is never any fun. Yeah, she's
really booking it.
she's booking it. Yeah, she might be late for something. Late for dinner.
Late for dinner.
It was dinner time. It was like, all right. I mean, I don't even know how I'd clean this up because it looks it looks messy, but it doesn't look bad messy. And like
That one's fine.
this one you can see some double pattern here, so I might.
Yeah, it looks like a trash can.
Yeah, a little bit. It's because it's pulling. It looks like it's pulling from this green. Spot healing brush. Let's do this. Let's see if this works. We use some clone stamp here. Okay, that might be a little bit better. Yeah, all right. That's good there. It looks pretty normal, honestly, to me. I'm never gonna notice, but I guess I could see if I just wanna. Yeah, cool, great, boom, done. Thank you, Jen. Super helpful. Definitely not gonna try and remove that stop sign. No one's gonna see that either, right, Anthony? Yeah, it's no one's ever gonna notice or look that hard. I'll be the only person to notice that just because I knew it used to be there. But unless Colin and Julia watch this full live stream, they're gonna have no idea that lady was there. It's still saving. All right, now I gotta clean up this one. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sweet. I like when my HoneyBook notification goes off that I just got paid. It's like the best thing ever. Did this save? I think it saved. Okay. All right, let's try this again. One more time. Haiti, all right. Jazzy's Photography. Glad you're here. Glad you're here. Let's see how content aware Phil does with this bro. Yeah, take her. It should definitely take from here. I don't think this would be very hard to get rid of just in general because I actually have a plate to pull from. I think this would probably, yeah.
Woo,
yeah.
Gone.
Magical. Try it again. There's a dog with him. He looks might be peeing on that tree. Yeah, I'm interested to see what this does. Can I just click this?
Nope.
Nope. Cancel.
Nope.
Cancel. Cancel. Okay.
That wasn't a good idea.
I gotta go to Phil. Okay. Don't do that.
That's not bad.
All right. That's pretty good. That's easy to clean up. I don't know why it doesn't disappear after I go over it, but
It's not bad though.
No, it's not bad at all. I am going to probably actually end up using the clone stamp just to run a straight line if I can. And I'll get rid of some of the duplicate textures. Jamaica. Sprout Studio. I've heard of Sprout Studio. I've never used it though. Like I mentioned, I learned Photoshop growing up in high school and all that, and that's just kind of what I've stuck with ever since. But I don't use it all that often, only to do like random stuff like this. Nobody's ever gonna know they were there.
No,
That one was pretty good. Cool. All right, we're gonna save. Gonna save. Bring it back into Lightroom. All right, we are closing down soon, ending the stream pretty soon. So if you have any other questions, let me know. I will definitely be doing more of these shortly. I'm gonna be doing, we got a lot of editing happening over the next couple of months, I guess, with weddings and other engagements. That finally saved. So we close this down soon, but whatever questions you got for me, feel free to throw them out. Peter McKinnon has a good tutorial on content aware. Oh, he's got good tutorial on everything. After selecting, just press Shift F5 and then Enter. Cool, shortcuts. I need to learn shortcuts. I got the shortcuts for Lightroom, but not for Photoshop. Did it not transfer over here? It should have come right back to. It shouldn't be at the end. Normally, when I click save, it takes it right back into Lightroom. So that's kind of weird. Oh, I see what it did. Okay, there we go. There we go. Pixelation. Cool. All right, we'll get rid of that. Remove red. Remove red. And remove red. Good. All right. All right. Yeah. I'm gonna export. Cool. All right. All right. That's it. We did it. We did it. Thanks for hanging. I'm gonna close down. I'll be back with some more live streams at some point. So, yeah. If there's anything you guys want to learn, any questions you have about anything, feel free to leave them in the comments. And if you want to grab all of my presets, or you want to grab my email templates, consultation scripts, we have a Pinterest mini course releasing this month. You can head to thephotoclub.io. It's a membership. There's actually only like 4 or 5 spots left until we close down signups, and we'll be reopening signups again in a couple months. There's only a few spots left right now, and we'll be opening a limited number of spots again in a couple months. So if you want to get in on that, head to thephotoclub.io, and you'll learn a whole bunch more about the membership there. And we're doing a whole lot of cool things every single month. But yeah, that's about it, guys. So